Hi there, my name is Linda Riches. I'm one of the Academic Skills Advisors at UWS. And in this short video, I'm just going to give you some tips and some hints on how to use the Cite Them Right referencing book. So that's a book that we recommend to a lot of students to use to help them with referencing. And I do know that sometimes students either buy a copy of the book or look at it online and find it a little bit confusing to find their way around. So just a short video to just give you some tips and some hints to help you with using the book. So hopefully you can see my screen there, and you'll see that I've gone on to the UWS library page, and you can access the book by accessing it online. And if I click on here, it should give me some options. So it comes up there and it gives me the option to either read the book online or to download it. And what I would say is if you download the book, that'll download it onto your laptop for 24 hours. And that is a little bit easier to navigate than the read online version. So it exactly mirrors the physical book. So any instructions, any guidance I'm giving here applies whether you're using the physical book or downloading it onto your laptop. It looks exactly the same. So if I click download, it will tell me that I've already got the book on loan because I've had a look at it earlier. So if I go into my account, it will give me the option to download the book. So if I click on download, and I should be able to bring the book up on the screen. So you can see on the screen there the actual book, Cite Them Right, the Essential Referencing Guide by Richard Pears and Graham Shields. And this is the 11th edition, which is the most recent edition to use. And I just want to sort of give you a little bit of guidance on the best way to navigate the book. So if we have a little look, first of all, just at the first couple of pages, you have all that information about the book, and you'll see that there's a contents page. And you'll see there we've got different sections. So section A through to section D gives some general information about referencing, about why you reference, how you paraphrase, how you summarize. And all that information is quite useful. But we want to also look at section E. So if you're using the Harvard referencing style, then section E is a section you want to pay attention to, because that gives you all the different types of references that you might come across and some guidance on how to reference. And I've mentioned before when I speak to students that you only really need pages 1 to 111 of the book if you're using the Harvard referencing style, because other sections of the book talk about different referencing styles. So if we just have a quick look through, I'll just show you there all the different options in terms of the internet or how to reference House of Commons reports or official acts of Parliament, that kind of thing. And if you see, if we keep going and we get down to 111, on the next page, 113, is section F, and that's a different referencing style that you don't need to use. So just concentrate on those pages 1 to 111. So if we go back, let's look at an example of a reference. And I'll just show you how to sort of navigate your way through it. So if we think about book references, first of all, and I know that book references are on page 29, and if I click on here, it should take me to page 29. And the page you're seeing here will look exactly the same in the physical book. So if you've got a copy of the book, this is what you'll also see on page 29. So the important thing to look at is the citation order. So if you have a look there under printed books, we have this citation order, and that is quite simply the order in which you should gather that information so that you can put it in your reference list at the end of your assignment. And just take note of what it's saying there and some of the details that it asks for. So for example, here it says that it wants the author or editor, it wants the year of publication, and that should be in round brackets. It wants the title of the book, and that should be in italics. It wants the place of publication with a colon and then the publisher. And then if there's a series or volume number, you put that in. You don't always have that in a book. Then what you'll see are these two yellow boxes. On here, there's a few yellow boxes on the page. And the first yellow box tells us how the reference would look in the assignment itself. and how it would look in the list at the end. So if you look in the in-text citation, our general rule in terms of referencing in an assignment is the author's last name, the year of publication, and we would also recommend a page number so that you can be quite specific about where that reference is coming from. In your reference list at the end, you should see that it matches the citation order. So if you look, we've got an author and a first initial of that author, as well as the last name. We've got the year of publication in round brackets. We've got the title of the book, and that's in italics because that's the guidance in the citation order. We've got the place of publication, Maidenhead, and the publisher, and that's separated by a colon. So that tells you, that gives you that guidance on how to put the reference on the page. And if you have a look on the next page, you'll see there's lots of different examples of different types of books. So maybe a book with an editor, a book that has an author and an editor, or a book that doesn't have an author at all. And it gives you guidance on how to do that. Let's also have a look at how to reference journal articles, because that's sometimes a little bit more complicated. So if I put page 39 in here, I know that they're on page 39. So if I look on page 39, journal articles, again, we have a citation order. And you might notice that that citation order looks a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more complicated than the book citation. Again, we just follow those details exactly. So in the citation order, they want an author, they want the year of publication, and that goes in round brackets. Take note that they want the title of the article in single quotation marks. The title of the journal they want in italics, and it gives us some guidance on what should be capitalized within that title. And then we want some issue information, so the volume number, the issue number, and it actually tells you there that they want the volume number not in brackets, but any issue number or part number should be in brackets. And then we want a page reference if we've got it. And if we access that article online, we want to put in either a DOI number or a URL, which is the website address, and the date that you accessed it. So your DOI number is just a digital object identifier, and that's just really a unique number that helps you find a bit of digital information known as a DOI number. And then your URL is just your website address, and then you put in the date that you accessed it as well. So if we look in that yellow box, we'll see the examples. So we'll see there an example in the assignment. We've just got the author's last name and the year. And if you look in that reference list at the end, we would follow that second example, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So that second example, we write all the names out. So we've got all the last names and first initials. Note how they're separated by the full stop and then the comma after each initial. And then we've got the year in brackets. We've got the title, and just watch out for those single quotation marks there, as mentioned in the citation order. We've got the title of the journal is reflective practice. We've got the number there of the volume number, and that's not in brackets, but we've got an issue number, which is, and then we've got PP, which means more than one page, and we've got our page numbers there. And if we wanted to put that DOI number in, if I look on the next page, there'll be an example there. If you see we've got an article with a DOI number, it shows you how the DOI number appears, or if we've got a URL, how that would appear. Just a little note on that previous page. You'll notice that in that reference list it says Norrie et al. That tells me that the reference they've used has 4 or more authors. If we have 4 or more authors, we can use et al. Instead of writing out all the names in the assignment. And you'll notice that there's a couple of options for the reference list. We go with that second option where we write all the names out in full. So just to be clear, if you use et al. In the assignment itself, that's fine because you've got more than 4 authors, 4 or more. But in that list at the end, you would write all those authors out in full. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit of guidance in how to use the referencing book. The key thing to remember is think first of all about the type of reference that you need to get on the page, and then go to that example and follow the citation order, and you shouldn't go far wrong. As always, if you need any help with referencing or other academic skills, you can book a one-to-one appointment with academic skills advisors, or you can listen to our podcasts, We Blether About, where we talk about referencing, we talk about academic skills of all kinds. And also you can look on our website where we've got short videos about referencing that will help you to master that skill. So I hope that's been helpful.